Good day, lovely shadow work group. I just woke up bright and early. Look, you can still see the morning ugly in my face. I don't know what's up with that, right, guys? Like maybe it's from closing your eyes for the whole time. Like it's like then you open your eyes and there's still like Frodo Baggins and shit. But I realized I was making this entirely too hard, as I tend to do usually. Why don't I just talk to you guys on Saturdays? I have 4 kids. I have a husband. I think I have multiple businesses because I still do photography sometimes, along with the spiritual work. And then I work on music, like really, really good music. I'm proud of the music. It's just like, Lord, is this what Gemini season is? Gemini, Mars, and North Node, all these jobs, it gets a bit much. I sometimes feel like, geez, if I could focus on one thing, I could really kill it. But are any of us able to focus on one thing? I got The Sims. I thought I was going to get the Sims game as a way for me to like woosah in between because I realized I was smoking to calm my nerves. But I completely fell out of myself. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was alone anymore. I didn't know what shows I wanted to watch. I actually had no interest in the things I used to. Sometimes your brain is overwhelmed, especially from doing readings, and I can't read because I really love to read. Like I've been Belle my whole life. But with that, I realized like, shit, there needs to be some changes made. So I've been working since the last time we talked. There are always changes that need to be made, right? But that's what this is about. I want you guys to understand that. I want shadow work for you guys to become so second nature that you just like, as soon as the trigger happens, you're like, oh, I'm mad because of that. It has nothing to do with this person. Or you can accept that this person is completely putting some shit on you that has nothing to do with you, which is cool. Because that's how it works here. A lot of times we see versions of ourselves that we need to fix, or we see people who become versions of what we need triggered in us. Say, for instance, you're a pushover. You get in a relationship with a guy who pushes you over so much that you even have to decide, hey, I'm better than fucking that. But then after that, nobody ever pushes you over in life because of that situation. It's sort of messed up how it happens, but we are hard-headed, slow learners here on Earth. So, marijuana vibrates at 400. I'm going to guess probably 420 because they make such a big deal about 420. 400 on the vibrational scale gets you to the ability to reason. These devices and the frequencies and things that come out of them currently are meant to keep us below that. The fluoride that they put in the water is meant to calcify our pineal gland, although yeah, it has teeth benefits, so on and so forth. But all things have a reason, and you can actually look into that. I just saw it on something recently. It was a military technique, as are much of the things that they use on us to keep us in line so we don't get mad that there are people who have money they can never spend while there are people who are dying because they can't eat. So this world can be overwhelming. I want to help everything in like 2020 and 2021 have really been trying because you know, a lot of times in this love and light community where we're taught, no, you don't have expectations, you let go of outcomes. But man, when I was little and I used to read the Bible, when I saw Noah, or when I read about Noah, I was always so confused why the people didn't go with him, or with Moses, or why Pharaoh like gave such a hard time until 2020 hit and people got mad about the mask. I understand like it's totally a psychological thing, but if it's the only thing protecting us right now, we're even staying in the house. It's just like us as a group working together did not go like I planned. It's like we have all too many opinions that we're attached to that we can't just say, hey, none of this individuality and stuff matters right now because our planet is like really, really going through it at this moment. So what do you do when shadow work has nothing to do with your triggers, but your spiritual gifts? So this is a whole different version of shadow work. Damn, now I done turned this into an amazing topic. I might have to share it elsewhere, and I'm Saturday morning busted. Whatever, guys. Fuck it. And that's really what I want everybody else to do. So maybe I need to be the change that I want to see. So many, like when I used to be a wedding photographer, there were times where I wasn't allowed to take pictures of the bride before she put makeup on. And I'm so like, guys, is that how we feel about how we look now? We're afraid to be seen without makeup, without being clothes. Like after that point, it became important for me to sort of feel okay without makeup. Like I felt like I don't ever want to feel like I need anything outside of myself to feel beautiful. And at the end of the day, you know what? If you don't feel beautiful in general, you were born into this world. You were given a body, not much choice on that body. So all you can do is say, hey, God picked it. Take it up with. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do if somebody else doesn't like the way you look? Right? But this world has a way of making us all literally put on an armor before we go out the house so nobody else messes with us. Recently, I had a really, really big moment. I didn't realize that since I got into spirituality and everything, I sort of turned into a little hermit. But me and my husband went on a staycation. And not until I went out did I realize that the reason I like hated people, I didn't even realize like it was a ingrained thought. Like I think as a whole, like I'm like, I love the idea of people, like the humanity, the beauty of it, but the actual character of a lot of people. And this came from, I was bullied a lot in school. But then I realized I bullied as an adult, but not even where anybody personally says anything to me. People stare at me. It doesn't matter if they are children or adults or elderly. They stare and they stare harder. They'll tap the person next to them and have them stare at me too. And so I didn't realize that I had actually built tunnel vision. When I go out, I only look at the place I'm going and I don't look at the people next to me. My husband doesn't do that. If somebody's staring at me, he says hi, but then he realized like, yo, this is freaking ridiculous. So I really had to think about that. I'm like, oh my goodness, after I became like a spiritual person, I stopped interacting with humanity because that is the challenge, which is clearly the theme of this video now, the challenge of merging your spiritual Wu-Sai self with day-to-day life where there are triggers that happen. Now, for me, astrologically, I have Chiron in 11th. It's in Gemini, so it's usually me talking in front of people, but that I never thought about it until the situation where it was literally everywhere I went, and I didn't realize how long I had put that off. I had been at weddings. Like, it was really, people treat you like you're not a person when you're overweight or when you're tall. I'm 6'2", and at my biggest, at my most depressed, at my most self-neglected, I got to 455. I'm down quite a bit from there, but I'm realizing the weight itself is connected to the things that I was adapting in my behavior to exist here. Like wearing certain clothes, hiding my body, always having on layers. Like I didn't realize until this weekend also that it was a really big thing for me to consider leaving out the house without a jacket. Or when I went to go sit at the table that I had to pick everything but booths because I'd be afraid I wouldn't be able to fit in the fucking booth. I paused when we were going into one this weekend and I realized, oh my goodness, I have like, is this a form of PTSD? I don't know, but I am traumatized in some ways. I have, and I'll say that because I've adjusted myself and who I am and what I would do naturally to being fat in front of other people. Now, when I'm at home, I am on a two-piece right now. I realize I don't even like regular clothes. Like I like little like night clothes and shit. When I'm around the house, I like workout clothes and stuff because I walk all the time or I'm working out or I do yoga. Like I have a whole thing now that fills up my day because my life is freaking amazing now. But still, when I went out in front of other people, like my body still remembered like things that I was doing. But as I was doing them, I was like, hold on. So it was a mind-blowing experience. We really put on a whole shield that is based upon all the data we have collected from people's opinions or views of us as we've lived. Fuck that. I say break that. So for this week, I want you to take a note of what dishonors you. What mask are you having to wear? I realized that when I'm doing video diaries, the way I speak is very candid. In the beginning, I noticed it was different from the way that I would go talk to my family or when I had to do videos with you guys. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. But then I always had this idea in my mind that you can't completely be yourself because people think you're an asshole. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I think you sort of kind of have to be somewhat of what other people consider an asshole to survive here. I'm a nice asshole. But yeah, I'm just built tough now. It's like everything that is thrown at you to break you, if you sit with it, like, I don't know if it's like because when it heals, it gets tough or something. I don't know, but I feel gangster. Like now, even when I have a misunderstanding online or somebody purposely tries me or pushes a boundary, I don't even feel the need to share with my husband all the time. There used to be a codependent part where I had to check with him that I was right about checking somebody else. Now I am a big girl. I am able to look at a situation and decide what the situation is. How have you been making progress in your shadow work? What have you noticed was a commonality? Were people pushing your boundaries? Are you pushing other people's boundaries? Is there anything you did not expect to see while actually observing your life? Because this shadow work thing, you got to remember, this principle is very Scorpio. So what do Scorpios fucking do? Don't say shit and watch everything. That is how they create a Rolodex in their head. So we are immortal beings that came from above, the heavens, the sky, to have a human experience and to find out what life is like with emotions, because everywhere else is logical. Here, you are able to have a fully free will engaged experience. Now, the variables are being moved around you all the time, sort of like Cabin in the Woods, but you have control over what you do and what situations you put yourself in. And you have control over when you say enough is enough. I'm not going to suffer through this experience because I came here to have fun. Bottom line, nobody came here to suffer. We came here to love and have families and enjoy the earth and the sunrise and all these simple things. And there are so many things to get in the way in between, guys. So I'm hoping that me explaining some of this to you guys sort of helps you build your shovel to get through the shit of life so that you can enjoy, turn it into manure, like make a garden out of the shit they throw at you. Because every time somebody throws you a shot, you analyze it and you figure out what the fuck that is. Are you able to take those feelings? Because that's a new way I've been working with my like physical power. When you feel triggered, you know that electricity that you feel goes through your body, like that adrenaline, that fight or flight. Take that energy, picture that, and tuck it somewhere. Tuck it into your heart, or you can send it out into the universe with an intention. But your anger is your fuel sometimes, your passion, your laughter, when you feel love. Anytime you feel that tingly feeling throughout your body, some people feel in their heart, because think about it, your power is aligned with your chakras. Some people might visualize. Their heads might tingle. Whenever you feel your power percolating, use it, send it out there, or you can circulate it back through your aura so you can just keep like a charge. But this is how you raise your vibration, by transmuting your shadows. It's a practice that you work in over time, much like meditation, but these are things that you need for your soul, the same way that you have to feed yourself every day and exercise and spend some time with your family and things like that. you have to take care of your soul, or the body gets depressed. And the body also can exhibit other signs of mental illness if you do not take care of your spiritual gifts. I notice a lot of people aren't even aware that they have gifts. They've been taking them for granted. So I'll be doing a video on that soon. This was like really awesome. Thanks, guys. Saturday Morning Jazz.